Hi, my name is Oliver. I'm a practicing psychometrist. How many of you have heard of the word psychometrist? Psycho, yes. But psychometry is very rare because I didn't know there was such a job until I got in, okay? But basically what I do is I predict behaviors in the corporate world. If you hire a senior executive, I'm able to predict whether the person can deliver the job or not. Okay, if you want to promote somebody, have you heard of promoting to incompetency? They are very good at what they're doing, and you promote them, they get cannot function. They manage their sales or whatever very well, but they just cannot manage people. But they're promoted based on their sales figures. Very common. Or have you heard of senior executive in corporation who are top performers? Everybody loves them, but because of them, the rest are resigning. I get coached to talk to these people to help them behave. Okay, but they are talents, that's why they do it. So basically, I'm a career coach in several universities in Singapore. Talent management consultant, happen to be trained in nutrition and metabolism. Not the topic today. Huh? Okay, that's my beautiful wife, the most beautiful woman in Singapore, and some say JB. Is she there? Oh, there she's here, Scott. Okay, she's here. Okay. Before we bring the panel in, allow me to show you a little bit about the company, a very quick overview of the company. It's been around for 35 years. All right, Singapore is about 19 years old, if I'm not wrong. About 19 years, 2000 until now. It's in 50 global markets. That means it's seamless, which means you can do this business in any of the 50 markets globally. The record revenue is 2.68 billion. It's a 2.68 billion dollar company. It's not a small boy, and it is listed in New York Stock Exchange, not Nasdaq. Main board, New York Stock Exchange, right? And if you look at all those accolades and all this, first direct selling company to sponsor the US Olympic team, and we are still the only one because after that no more. You know, for the US Olympic team to take our multivitamin and pop in the mouth, it's no joke. You need to have scientific evidence before they'll do it, and of course we have to pay them. All right. These are one of those things about companies. You want to see whether a company will grow, whether it's a good company or not. You want to see the amount of interest they have in innovation and R&D. Every 2 years or whatever it is, you will see a new product coming into the market. And what is the purpose? Is to support the builders in this business. And we have to keep innovating. If you just look at them, can you see the word me over here? Can you see the me, the funny looking, beautiful shaped machine? That R&D alone is 42 million just to produce that product. And now she shadow copied it. If you notice, it came out of the papers. Right? Okay, so we have innovated, and you notice that our skincare, oil and robotics, the top seller up to today is still the tummy flattening product. Ladies, how many of you would like to have a completely flat belly? That's just about everybody, okay? You know why we ask the ladies? Because that's just about every lady. Men different, they want to use their stomach so to prevent the wind from blowing them away. Very different. The skincare, oil and robotics, the two latest products is the power mask and of course the hair product. Ladies, while you're worried about your stomach, the men are worried about the hair. Okay, the one cannot see the sun. Okay, but unfortunately a lot see the sun. Okay, so we have a hair product coming in. But today I'm not going to talk to you about this product. I will leave it to your sponsor to talk to you about products because we are here to tell you a business model. Okay, so you know that we put money into R&D. So a lot of people ask me, what is the purpose, or what is the purpose of your products? What position are you in? What business are you in? What is your job description? A lot of us come from employment, they always ask for job description. You won't get any here, by the way. You go to Upline, give me job description, you won't get it. We got one HR director here. Hey, there's a global HR director, where is she? Here today. Okay. What is our purpose? What do we do? Can I use a picture to show you what we do? This is basically what we do. We are the youth preservation business. If you want to stay younger, look younger, feel younger, that's our business. Everything on the shelf has got to do with youth preservation. There's a mother and son who came to us to help slim down, and look younger and all this. We do not have detergent. We do not have mooncake. We do not have mushroom, whatever thing you seem to find outside. Anything that you have on the shelf has got to do with youth preservation. That's our positioning, all right? Not anti-aging. Do you know the difference? Youth preservation are products that the users start at age 18. Anti-aging start at age 40. Our market is very much broader. All right. So, now let me introduce the people who's going to come out here. Many years ago, when I first started this business, before I started this business, I was employed by a company. It's the largest headhunting company in Singapore. I was a psychometrist, practicing psychometrist. My job was to travel in the region 70% of the time. 70% of the time, I was not in Singapore. And I had a little girl that's about 3 years old, and she looks like a round ball. So I was always looking forward to going home to play with her. Every time I go play with her, I will push, she will roll, and she will jiggle. Okay, as a father, we are always looking forward to coming back to play with the girl, right? One day I come back home, she looked at me, she started crying. And I told my wife at the time, hey, this girl, this is not the first time she see me and cry, What's wrong with your daughter? When it's naughty, it's your daughter, right? When it's good, it's our daughter. And my wife just said one thing, she don't know you, That night I woke up, I said, what do you mean you don't know me? Because you spend most of the time not in Singapore. And when you're in Singapore at home, you're supposed to be playing with her, you're clearing that 1,000 emails. Does it sound familiar to you? Everybody go overseas holiday, come back, got 1,000 emails inside there to clear. Okay? So in short, you're employed 24 hours. Now that night, I made a clear decision. I will become her first boyfriend before she becomes 12. That was a very clear decision I decided. But what do you do? If I continue to work for people, I will land up in the same situation. Okay? I had a 9-year window before she becomes 12. Urgent. And by the way, I become her first boyfriend. Now she got boyfriend, second one. I'm first, the other one second. I was looking around when a gentleman came to look for me. He was the human resource director of a company called Aihua. Anybody heard of Aihua? Yeah, those put our hand all old people because the thing died like 19 years ago, Aihua. You know Aihua, the old man and everything? Okay, young people don't know. You don't know what? They were still in liquid form. He came to me and he offered this business opportunity. Guess how I reacted? MLM. I'm a professional consultant. I wear coat in Taiwan. But you know what? Because I liked him a lot, because he was straight to the point, he has been a very good customer for my wife, I said, okay, fine. Maybe if you tell me the product, I get excited about product. Maybe I may just do it. So I said, what product? And he said, skincare. As a man, how do you think I reacted? This is not going to happen. But because I liked him and he was very smart, he said, what life issues would you like to solve? I said, my daughter, I want to be her first boyfriend. He said, done deal, come. Okay? So I'm going to introduce you to him. He was HR director of Aihua. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Singapore Armed Forces. And he's now a business consultant to an SME. Let's put our hands together for $1 million circle member of Marseille. Let me ask you this, does he look like a skincare salesman? That's why I didn't quite believe him when he said skincare. I said, oh, well. And he was like 2 times the size. Okay? That was many years ago. And he said, hey, Oliver, let's go and see my upline. You know, this network marketers like to bring you to the upline, and this word upline scares me one, I say upline, boss say boss are upline, actually there's no boss. Okay, it's just upline. I said, okay, let's go and see an upline. We went to an office, and this guy was presenting to me. I was very cocky. I was quite cocky. I thought I could take him down, Network marketing. I know what these people are going to say. I think I'm going to take him down. I didn't know who he was at the time. So I spoke to him, he presented to me, and I tried to corner him. I said, James, you say Nuskin, very good, right? He said, yeah, very good. Product everybody using, he said, of course, popular. Then I asked him a question. Then I sell to who? Oh, I thought, that's it, man, checkmate. And he was, he stared at me for a while and says, Oliver, do you have a TV at home? At that point, I was quite insulted. They asked me if I have a TV at home. I said, of course I have a TV at home. Some more Toshiba, I know. You know the tube TV? How long have you been using? I said, 13 years. Very good TV. That means I'm trying to tell him we choose very good TV lah. And he says, your TV lasts 13 years. Huh? Outside got people sell TV. I said, yeah. If a TV that lasts 13 years and there are still people selling TV, ours, every tube, every box lasts 1 month, you think you ever saturate? Those went, oh, yes. I was not thinking like a businessman. He was thinking FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods. I was not thinking like a businessman, I was thinking like an employee. I didn't get it. And there was a time when I said, oh, okay, I get it. Okay? His name is Dr. James Chia. He has a PhD in civil engineering. I don't know why he studied so much. I never asked him why. He's also a lieutenant colonel in the guards unit. Now, are you afraid of our soldiers? Okay. And by the way, he was SAF NS Man of the Year in 1995. That's exactly how old he is. Top financial planner, and he authored the book, The Financial Planner's View of MLM. Okay, he's not a very detailed man, so the book he writes, you can read one. It's graphic, not graphic, I mean it's graphical, not graphic. Graphical, and the words are big, okay? Because also cannot read, also must use big words. And it's on sale behind there. Don't forget to get it on the way out. This was one of the first books I read when I came into the business. Right, so let's put our hands together. Dr. James Chia, $1 million. You think that somebody successful in network marketing has to be 7 feet tall? No need. Okay. Then a both of them actually brought me to this guy's house. And that house was worth $8 million off Dunning Road. I said, wow, Bukit Timah area. What the hell is this guy doing network marketing? I said, never mind, let's see the house. Huh? So he presented, last time they had a room like this, it was his house. And I tell you, it was dinner time. He don't feed you one, huh? Water and lemon, that's it. I must take revenge now. Okay. 1 month I lost 5 kilos because no dinner. Okay. He was one of those people who influenced me in terms of looking at a business in a holistic form. One of his straightforward questions he asked me is, Oliver, do you want to be a millionaire? I said, yes. Are you a millionaire? I said, no. Do you want to be an entrepreneur? I said, yes. Are you an entrepreneur? I said, no. Then he just said this, follow the smart money. I said, oh, okay. Do not go and talk to the colleague sitting beside you who is also not a millionaire. You know what they'll tell you? They'll tell you employee values. And they will remain there. Okay, talk to millionaire, mix with the millionaires. Okay, become a millionaire. I said, oh, that makes sense. This guy was a government scholar. He graduated from London School of Economics. Listen to this. He has a bachelor's degree in mathematical economics and econometrics. I say already very impressed. And he was an ex-deputy director of trades and industry. He was a government official. And his last job was sales director of gaming security, making millions a year. In my head at that time, I said, what in the world are they dealing with this business? I don't get it. Okay? Because you know, my last impression of network marketing was what? This lady coming with pots and pans to my mother's place, demonstrating, don't know what, then got pizza. And then try and sell my mother the wholesale pots and pans. I said, no, this is not for me. Okay? But when I saw these guys, I said, well, first of all, these people all do not look like skincare salespeople. Okay, their skin cannot make it. Okay. Secondly, this business are all supposed to be housewives. It's a housewife business. I don't see housewives. Okay, I'm not saying housewives cannot make it. There are a lot of housewives in the business. So I said something is not right. My belief system on the business just got splashed with cold water and said you were absolutely wrong when I saw them. Right? Let's put our hands together for $1 million second member, Tan Jin Wen. He's our fashionista. It was a few years into the business, we decided to travel to Malaysia. I think Hong Seng brought me to Malaysia to attend training. I've been in the training industry for a very long time. I know how good trainers are. And then he brought me to a training, he said, this one very good, okay. And he was a fellow builder. I saw his training, I would say, wow, this guy training got standard, even the corporate side. And today he is even better. He's actually a global motivational speaker right now. Wow. Right? Wow. This guy, when I knew him, he was an ex-engineering manager of a company called Motorola. Really, Motorola, really. Okay. He designed a battery, and he was awarded several US patents. Very intelligent guy, global motivational speaker. His organization is now the largest in North Malaysia. All the way from Penang. $1 Million Circle member, William Kang. The last but the most senior one. Okay? And for a matter of fact, she asked me, why am I here? It's a man's title, Scholarship holder in the top Australian university and an ex-chemical engineer. Did you part out in Motorola? You're supposed to be working. And most importantly, Wheeling runs the biggest organization in North Malaysia, and she is the coach. She's the strategist behind the very loud person. She quiet one, he very loud. So everywhere you hear him, he haven't come, you hear him already. But she's the one behind him, giving him instruction, the strategist. Go, hands together for $1 Million Circle member, Tracy Wang. Can you see William filming away again? That's it. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them some important questions, and they are going to attempt to answer you. Can we do that? Okay. Listen intently, because not very often these people come together. They are both from Penang. Jovan is in Singapore, but he's seldom appear so we. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go around and ask them a basic question first. So I'm going to start with Casey. Okay. Casey, here's a question. As an engineer and a mother of one, then when you first started, she's basically a mother of three already. She's stomach flat one, flat. She's a mother of three already. When she started this business, she was a mother of one. The 2 kids are behind her. What were your thoughts when Nuskin was introduced to you? What were your thoughts? What were you thinking?
Hi, everybody. Hi. Should I stand up?
You can.
Hi, Singapore. I was surprised to see so many men and as well women here. Yeah, and okay. So when I first heard about Nuskin, the first thing I thought of was the product, because I was a chemical engineer, and all I was looking for a very good range of products, skincare, and supplements for my family. And I heard that Nuskin's ingredient philosophy is all of the good, none of the bad. And I checked upon it and all that, and it passed my test. So I was looking from a product point of view, and I've never thought of going into the business. But we were invited by my sister to come to listen to the business out of support. And really, to me, it was just a support. And during the business presentation, it was a small one. It was presented by one of my uplines. Frankly speaking, I was so surprised about the potential of the business. It is so exciting, but deep down inside, I find that this is not my cup of tea. So I was excited about it. I want to do it, but I was so scared to get started. And luckily, you know what? I brought Willing along. So Willing was excited, but without thinking too much, he raised his hand and he said he told the speaker that he wanted to get started on this, and he wanted to know how to go on further. And guess what? I tried to stop him. So we went home and we have a little bit of argument and all that. So that's how we were, in case you were like us, right? Struggling between want to do it and not wanting to do it, between husband and wife. That's quite common. And the tips to you is talk to the other person of your better half who don't think so much, right? And you're always a winner. So it doesn't matter if you start the business excited or having doubt and all that. But the thing is, don't think too much. Don't be like me, think so much and just do it.
All right. Does the sharing sounds familiar? You go down there, your other part not very particularly interested. Do you know there's a couple here who's made over 20 million US dollars in the Nuskin business? Their upline dropped out because their spouse didn't approve. They lost $20 million just like that. Okay? Understand the compensation system before you say yes or no. Understand it. Okay, this is not a fly-by-night company. All right. So the other one is willing. Willing. You were an engineering manager, engineering, right?
Yes.
Manager, right?
Yes.
You manage people, right?
Yeah.
I saw it's called adult daycare center, by the way. Those who manage people, adult daycare, right? Cannot scold, cannot shout. Okay. You were also an awardee of several US patents. What motivated you to partner a company like Nuskin?
All right. Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting us here today. So, what motivated me to partner a company like this from an engineering manager point of view, right? I think I have to be very honest. Money. I think we have to be. Sometimes we have to look at what we do, and I think the very first time when I first started working for Motorola, it was like, hey, you got to do something, design stuff, apply what you learn. But after a few years, you start to realize that you're really going to work really only to earn that extra more and to fight for that promotion just to earn that extra more. And I'm not here to say that it's all about money, but a lot of our freedoms has a cost associated, has a price tag associated with things, and because of freedom, then you try to find out how can one of us be free, and at that time we have a 2-year-old, and we didn't have much time to spend with her, and I wanted Casey to be a full-time mother, and that had a cost associated with it. And so why I chose Nuskin was because it was part-time, and we could do it part-time, and it would pay. It would pay sufficiently enough that she could be a full-time mother, and that was some of the initial reasons why we would think of why maybe this would work, and I would tell her that you know what, in 2 years' time you don't have to work anymore. And that was the seed by which things started to move. I mean, we could see 10 years ahead. We could only see a couple of months and a couple of 6 months ahead. But I think that was all that was needed for us to just make that decision to do it, and then go there and see what else we can do, and then go and so on and so forth. But at that time, it was money. It was how to free somebody, and we needed the money to be able to do that. And I think that's how I kind of got started. Chose Nuskin. Thank you.
All right. Willing time. How many of you out there allergic to money? You touch money, you foam, asthmatic attack, have enough. Okay, you can continue listening. We always say this, money is not important, but don't have. Okay? Money not important, That's why when you fall sick, you spend every single cent, is it? But when you don't have money, you die. So there's nothing wrong talking about money. Alright, nothing wrong. Alright, now we have Junwen, right? Junwen's question. You were a government scholar and already a millionaire before you started this business. We know. We were tracking you. Tell me what clicked when you were introduced to the Nuskin model. What clicked?
Okay, firstly, when we went to the presentation, I didn't even know such a sector called MLM existed. I know there's some concept of direct selling. There was a need, and the need was not dissimilar to willing. My wife and I, we were both in finance, but my wife said, I want to be a full-time mother to our 2 youngest, 10 and 6. And so we were thinking about businesses in education, maybe Pilates, but being a finance person, I knew that the chances of any business succeeding was 1%. And the thought of taking out money, the thought of working, 24 hours and still not making it, even though those were sunrise sectors, just deterred me. But when I look at this business, and perhaps I had the benefit of, in my line of work, sitting through many presentations, I only pick up the key points of each presentation. I don't need to know all the details. As opposed to a lot of people who at the end of this presentation ask me for the ingredient. Okay, so what did I see that got me straight away? Firstly, I saw the people who were in this business. They were not, like Oliver said, nothing wrong with housewives doing this. A lot of housewives do the business. But I saw professionals. I saw business owners. Amongst the list of people, I saw lawyers. I saw university professors. There was actually a NASA scientist. I mean, in those days, they had to do manual calculation to send men to the moon. What are these people doing? So clearly that told me the products must be safe, it must be effective, and the compensation plan, I didn't understand it, but if these people do it part-time and then do it full-time, it must be worth their while. Okay? But the most important thing is, even though things were going very well in stockbroking at that time, I always go on the basis, what if things don't go right? What if things go wrong? By the time they go wrong, it's too late. But I could see this business, you turn on the tap. In fact, the tap is there, the water just keeps running. If water is money, how scared are you that the money will run out? So to me, it was, in all my years of looking at investment, this was the only one that was sure win, did not require capital, did not require any special skills. It's called plug and play. If I go out and buy a Samsung or an iPhone, I don't have to figure out how it works. I just turn it on, it works. Okay, so Nuskin, it will definitely work if you work at it. So no prior business experience needed, no capital, nothing, but you got to see the business for what it is.
This is a government scholar speaking. He's very focused. Okay, you can talk until the cow come home, you only listen to 2 points. Okay, you need to know how he thinks. Okay, James, now, you were a lieutenant colonel in the Guards Reserve Unit. Did you have a ranger tag? Don't have. Wow. You're not that crazy, lah. Okay. You have a PhD in civil engineering. You have a master's degree in finance. You were a top financial planner. And you were NS Man of the Year, 1995. Soldier, entire SAF. Never been a soldier before, right?
Scout.
Scout. Now here we call Zobo. Okay. At 10C, at 10B, those people carry water. Yeah. Okay. Why was Nuskin even remotely relevant to you?
Okay, I just want to share with you the context when I first heard about this opportunity from Junwen. I was actually earning quite a lot at that time, so I didn't need the money. In fact, since you talk about NS, my makeup pay when I go for in-camp training is $60,000 a month. Army got to pay me to run up hills. So I was also very busy with my financial planning practice, and I was also a key appointment holder in the SAF. I spent 6 weeks a year doing national service, so I really don't have time. I really didn't have a reason to join. But then I looked at Junwen and he had even less reason to. So what happened was he caused me to pause. When I looked at him, it caused me to pause. And when I paused, I looked beyond the immediate need or the immediate lack of need. Okay, and I saw some things which are very, very obvious. First of all, he said, which is better, multiplication or addition? Very simple answer is multiplication is better. And I become a Christian when I was studying in university, and there was this book called The Master Plan of Evangelism. It was Jesus' strategy. He was going to be killed after 3 years, so he's going to disappear. He's not going to be around. What did he focus? He focused on building leaders who would then build leaders. So I said, this concept is tried and tested, Okay. So it's multiplication, very simple. Second thing I saw was there's very little competition. Because I looked at the number, asked him how many people make it. He tried to bluff me, but actually, even the numbers he gave me, it more than 95% or many people would quit. So I don't want to come into the business where everyone succeeds. I want to come into the business where people quit, because I know, if I'm desperate enough, or I'm not a person who will quit. And of course, third reason was behind my financial planning practice. We're all about building an asset. You have to build an asset so that a person can retire and then feed on the asset. It's important. And here in network marketing, we're building an asset for the future. So it was consistent with what I was doing.
Dr. Lim Xia. Hoxing, he's the only one I knew before I came to the business. Okay? And if you have spoken to Hoxing before, he speaks slowly. Slowly, but clearly, but he speaks slowly, he's diplomatic. He does not come across as somebody who's going to sell you something. Okay? So Hoxing was a human resource director of a Japanese firm. Has anyone ever doubted that you will be successful in the sales business?
Actually, this question was never posed to me before. I don't know whether I've asked myself that question also or not. But I mean, I think I can say that I was very fortunate because someone like Dr. James Xia opened his mouth. It is so dangerous, I should say, if Dr. James Xia look at me and then make a judgment of this guy hopeless, workaholic, just only work and nothing else. I think that day he probably is a bit free, so he asked a few more questions. But I was safe because of that. You know what question he asked? You want to know?
Yes.
Yeah. So he asked, what are you going to do? Because at the time I was 40 years old already. He said, what are you going to do from here? I say, I'm going to work damn hard. I'm really working quite hard, I work damn hard for another 10 years and I'm going to retire. Hey, it's use the word retire to the financial planner. I think right inside the guts, they laugh non-stop. They look at me. Don't you look at my face. Look at my hair. You know already. You cannot retire one. So he helped me to size up the figure. I immediately realized, okay, cannot. No matter, even though someone offered me to go to China to work and all this, right? And I know after 10 years cannot retire, even like I have double income. Second question he asked me was, if assuming that you leave your family for work hard in somewhere else, and then will your health be better or worse? Well, that was a good question. Nobody cared about my health. So at that time I was already not kind of contract, but I visit my company doctor every 3 months until I said, you better go check up, And check up was nothing wrong because mind over the body, nothing was wrong one. So, and I had no. The answer is obviously no. You're not going to be healthy. And the last question he asked me is, so you're going to work damn hard for the next 10 years away from your family. Are you going to be closer or further from your family? Wow, that one, if you got tear, but God don't have lah. Tear flow inside one, Because I work so hard, because I want to provide for my family, and this very pragmatic question asked, it actually really, paid me, because I don't think at the time I was offered to China. So if I go China for 10 years, if I succeed, will I come back? I will never. Because I cannot come back, I must continue to work there. Will I be with the family? No. But if I don't succeed, I come back 50 years old, come back to Singapore, what can I do? Security guard? So actually, it's only rocket scientists to think about it. Immediately, I know no way already. Then die, continue also die. Don't continue also die. So it's very, it takes a wise person to ask this kind of question that put you cannot. So I asked, so you got solution? I said, yeah. Then you write, this address. 22 question. look at it, that's wow, my bottom's area. That's politics, we don't talk. So I said, wow, that was a very posh area. He said, yeah, you better go and take a look. So that night, I went there. I go to Jungwon's house. What I saw was potion and lotion, and I couldn't believe that that potion and lotion, that Jungwon presented, can change my life. I tell you what, the time Jungwon was new, and then you draw the 5, 25, 125, the one also excite me lah. But because I'm a very I'm not calculating. I'm an analyzer. I look at the number. I say, wow, like that also can. So, but when I was driving home, honestly, inside my heart, it's too good to be true, lah, friend. If it's so easy, everybody will be rich already. But this thing, luckily, this thing didn't stay too long. I look at them. I said, hey, who they are. They are somebody, they are somebody credible in the society. If I ask the wrong question, I will land at the wrong place. So I ask again, what if this is true? Oh, that is where I am today. Thank you very much.
How could you reject a person who talks like that? He's an already analyzer. He has analyzed for you. If you analyze some more, it's called analyze until paralyzed. Okay. I'm gonna have an open question for all of you. Okay. When the title "Why Men Love the Nuskin Business" what were in your thoughts and perspective? Let's start with Junwon first.
I have to be politically correct. Firstly, whenever I put this business proposition to the men, the first thing is, oh, ladies' business. So why do the men who stay on in the business, men like here, with no knowledge of skincare, why would they do the business? I have a very simple answer. Because they are smart enough to see that the women would love these kind of products. Women will pay any amount to stay young. And they will also be the ones to buy the wellness product to keep the family healthy. And this Nuskin business, specifically, starting from America, has been built by the Asian women. Why? Not only do the Asian women put a premium on how they look, the wellness for the family, but the Asian women care a lot about education for their kids, retirement, and health. The men care, but the men are in denial. Okay, but the women are this is all maternal instincts. So if you look at the profile of Nuskin users, most are women. Most of the business builders are women, but the men who come in are breadwinners. So this is a serious business. So I would say I come in because hopefully I'm smart, a little bit smarter to see that women love these products. They will keep using it every month. They're going to do the business because they really care for their family. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to look for these people and also look for men like this to do it. Okay. I just want to remind everyone, the richest two men in the world, the first one is Jeff Bezos, Amazon. The second one is Bill Gates, Microsoft. The third one, he just bought Tiffany, Bernard Arnault, LVMH. What does LVMH sell? They sell to men or they sell to women? They sell to women. Women are the biggest consumers in the world. So anytime you have a product that sells to women, and most importantly, repeating every month, you got a winner. So that's why I come in.
Shall we test his theory? You look left and look right. Guys look at the ladies and ladies look at the guys. Now, guys, tell me, do you think any one of these ladies sitting beside you has spent money on their eyebrow? Ladies, look at the guys. Do you think they spend money on their eyebrow? Here's a proposition. Thank you. Women run the economy. Yeah? If they don't spend money, we got no job. If it's a woman's business, I'm interested. If it's a man's business, don't be stupid. Okay? Right. Go and check out the shoe rack, you'll know why. Alright. Do you want to hear from the only woman in the panel? Let's hear from Casey. You're the only woman in this panel. What's your reaction when we propose this title?
I thought that this title is very sexy.
Oh, sexy.
And I thought that whoever that thought of this title is very smart. Yeah. And I also thought that if today we will definitely have more men than usual to attend this, right? Is it true? We have more men today than usual event?
Slightly more than the usual presentation.
Okay, slightly more. Okay. And if we are able to have men who attend this event today activated to see this business as something that they would go for and commit to, there'll be a lot of children, parents, and wife who are very, very happy. Right? We need more men to do this business.
Right.
There is a saying that 女人做快，男人做大. Women do fast, men do big, right? Because men in general, right, they are very ambitious. They are the breadwinner, and they don't have the excuse. Women can be like, oh, you know, sometimes I want to take a break. I'm pregnant, and you know, or I want to ask my husband for money and all that. But men have no excuse. So if we are able to talk to friends around us who are men, to come into the business, right, you are going to do very well. And we are going to be a very big force. And we're going to change the way people look at MLM, look at Nuskin, right? And in fact, between me and Willing, it was him who started first, not me, right? So this particular title is very interesting. It's going to be something that it's going to be a game changer. We want more men to come into the business. 做大，做快. Okay, thank you.
Right. William, do you know what she's trying to tell you?
Yes.
She's trying to tell you you're the head of the household, she's the neck. She stopped breathing, you choke.
She's already because of him coming full time in the business. I can feel, you know, the force and the power. Right? I'm not saying that women doing this business is slower or what, but when we have men coming into the business, right, they are really, really powerful.
Okay, Willie, since you're holding the mic, I got an important question to ask you. Not about her, after you get in trouble. So, you're from Penang, right?
Yes.
Yes, the land of Fried Kway Teow and all this.
Yes.
Okay. Enlighten us. How is the MLM climate in Malaysia right now?
Wow. We recently went to attend a Direct Selling Association event. I think it was their 40th anniversary. And we were very surprised by the statistics. Malaysia is ranked worldwide 7th in the world for network marketing. 7th. You know how many countries are in the world? And it's 7th. What does that mean? It means that it's quite popular. People can accept it, and yeah. So the environment is definitely a big, especially population, of course, is big. Especially in Nuskin business, the Malay or the Bumi market share in Malaysia is less than 10%. So that constitutes a huge opportunity alone. So that's another segment that is often untouched at this moment for Nuskin. So the market is big. The environment is positive. People are accepting network marketing. Of course, there are good and bad, but I think we have chosen the right company, and we're very blessed to be in this company because Nuskin stands head and shoulders above many companies out there. When we were there and we saw hundreds of companies being recognized, we were very surprised, of the companies there and how Nuskin's GM is the vice president of the Direct Selling Association of Malaysia. So that tells you Nuskin's position among the network marketing companies in Malaysia. So definitely a huge opportunity there.
They need vice president only.
I
Our
guess.
Chewy is president, you know.
Exactly. So you can, yeah. It's amazing.
I have to do it. Don't twice. The reason why I asked the question is for you to understand that this is open to 50 markets, and Malaysia is our nearest neighbor. You can do this business very easily. Don't look at the population of Singapore. Okay? And Singapore is not small among the network marketing Nuskin world. It's not small. We are 9th largest in the world for Nuskin. Okay, so we are not small. You know which is the 5th largest in the world for Nuskin? The entire Europe. So Singapore is not small.
No.
Malaysia, of course, is bigger lah. Yeah, Penang already bigger already. Not talk about Malaysia, right? Okay. Anyway, I'd like to ask Junwen, as an owner of a degree in, here I go again, mathematical economics and econometrics. This time you can use short form. Do enlighten us on the broad perspective of MLM versus the traditional business models.
Actually, my degree has nothing to do with it. You know, I only chose to go to LSE because it was only 11 hours a week of studying. You know. The statistics are out there for everyone that in traditional business, there really is only a 1% chance of success. And even amongst the 1%, you probably just about pay your overheads, pay yourself a wage that could be equivalent to your last drawn pay. But I think you could be working 12, 14 hours a day. Every Chinese New Year, you wonder whether your Malaysian workers are coming back home. And this just repeats itself, So I think traditional business is really an aging business. Okay, MLM, I would say, MLM industry has a lot to answer for because 90%, 95% is actually rubbish. I'm sorry, I can say this because we're not at the direct association dinner. So they come in, they tell you, wow, you just have to ring 5 people and you'll be rich. That's not what we do at Nuskin. So listen very carefully. Only 5% are for real. Okay, so I don't want to talk about MLM in general. I want to talk about Nuskin because I know the facts of Nuskin. There are few things I dare to say about Nuskin. It's Showit because there's no capital, there's no inventory, there's no manpower. The only thing that can affect you is yourself. It's a headhunting business. So you just keep looking for people. So where do we stand? Specifically, where do we? I think I like to answer the question from a viewpoint of Nuskin, not versus other MLM, but Nuskin versus anything else you choose to do. Let's say business. First, you already know business, 1% chance. Nuskin, 100% chance, provided you treat it like a business. But you observe that a lot of people drop out because they never do it properly. So let me give you the facts of Nuskin. Worldwide by sales, we're about 7 or 8 in the world. Okay, but that's not the most important thing. By positioning, we are in the middle, upper middle. That's the place I want to be. I don't want to be in the lower part of it because there's no market there. Secondly, do you want to do a business that keeps selling or some element of selling but really franchising? Because there are a lot of MLM companies. I'll give you a very simple example. We all know about Ya-Kun. Now, the people running Ya-Kun today are mostly professionals, the grandchildren of the founder. Do you think they quit their professional job to sell kaya toast? Of course not. They quit their job to do a franchising business. So Nuskin is in a different ballgame. It's a different area from all the other direct selling companies. In Singapore, we're number 1 7 years straight. So worldwide 7 to 8, 7 years straight in Singapore, number 1. But the most important thing, why do they attract so many professionals and business owners? The products are great, they're consumable, and we cannot just replace, but more than replace our income. So that's the reason. So I think really there's no fight. If you really want to think about starting a traditional business, lie down and count to 1,000. And if the feeling doesn't go away, count to 10,000. And if the feeling doesn't go away, then come to 22 Cassia Drive, we'll have a chat with you.
Okay, thank you, Juan. ask James. James, you wrote this book, right? Confirm with Chong and Chong. I just taught them the new term. Confirm. This Singapore term. Okay, when you wrote this book, in your mind, what were you thinking when you wrote this book, and who would you like to pass this message about MLM message to? Who is your target market?
When I wrote this book, actually there was very similar to when I decided to join Nuskin to do MLM. There was no need to do this book. Okay, it was just a challenge done by someone. I was participating in a leadership program. Participating in a leadership program, and the person just said, "Why don't you do something that's wow?" So it was done as to do something that's wow. Now in hindsight, this is 19 years after 16 years after the book was written. It took me 1 month to write because that's all the time I had. What can you do in 1 month? So I just did it anyway. It took 1 month to write it, but it's been through 4 reprints. And 2 weeks ago, this top leader, the biggest leader of this MLM company, just ordered 240 copies of the book. 16 years later, to start off with his team. So I say, you don't try something big, you miss out on all the possibilities and potential, and that's a fact of life. So like Jun Wen, he didn't need to do this business, but I think he's had a lot of wows in his life because of that. When I wrote the book, when I started doing Nuskin, I saw that this was a leadership business, and in this leadership program, they identified 4 crucial characteristics of a leader. One is compelling desire. You know that every time your upline talks to you, it's what's your why? What's your compelling desire? What's your solid belief? People quit because they don't believe in themselves or don't believe in the company. What's your solid belief? Then what effective action are you taking? In office, as long as you just clock the hours, it's okay. You don't have to produce anything. Here, you can be, it's got to be effective action that creates results. And of course, the last thing is iron will. Don't quit. You don't quit, you 100% chance of success. So I wanted to put these things into the book, these 4 crucial. So I asked the lady who had designed the leadership role for permission. She said, "No, you can't do that. You can't use this." I was surprised. So she said, "No, you have to ask my husband, because he's the one who came up with the 4 crucial characteristics." Then she told me that her husband, 30 years before that, had studied, he was one of the top leaders in MLM in America, and he had studied all his leaders and he had identified 4 crucial characteristics in his MLM leaders that made them successful. And so I said, no wonder when I applied it to the Nuskin business, it worked, because these were characteristics of leaders in the MLM business. But when you think about the characteristics for life, so I wrote this book basically because it was about life, and those of us who have done MLM, it's really about living a better life, being a better person. I remember Hock Seng, 6 months after he joined the business. It was the start of the year, and we were talking about what we've learned in the last year. And this guy who's 40 years old, lieutenant colonel in the reserve, senior HR director with a Japanese multinational company, he stood up and he said, in the last 6 months, he has learned more in the last 6 months than he has in his last 40 years of his life. And that's what the business has given us. So this book was written to tell people that this is more than just a business. But it's written in a very unemotional way, a very left brain way. So accountants, when they read the book, they just love it, and they say, okay, this it's so simple. I just need to be logical.
All right, thank you, James. Also, your upline wrote the book, Financial Planner's View of MLM, because he's MLM, right? I mean, he's a financial planner, right? Okay, now we want to ask from you. Tell me about the HR view of MLM. Human resource, human resource.
Wow. Never thought of writing a book. But jokes aside, because actually just now when Oliver asked the question about is there anybody has any doubt about you succeeding in this, especially for me succeeding in sales? I guess the key is it's about responsibility. It's about responsibility, because whether or not people doubt us is because they think that we don't have the ability. They're based on what? Based on the past. But I guess when I was an engineer and they put me into HR, I do not have any qualification about HR, but they decided to put me in charge of the HR department. I think many people doubt, this guy don't have a degree in HR and all this, so we become suddenly connected to HR. I immediately acknowledge that because there is a purpose of why I'm there. So I identify my responsibilities, so I have no doubt that I can do that job very well. So I did. So when I come to Nuskin, I mean many people actually quietly also doubt that this guy, can't even attract, don't talk about approach. Can't attract, can't approach, how to do business like that. So, but I know, deep inside me, the responsibility to survive, the responsibility to make sure that I last for the rest of my life, with a sense of purpose, that's significant, right? Because I want that to happen. That's why I have no doubt about the ability. Just do it, that kind of things. So, if you ask me, from HR point of view, in fact, I don't know how many of you are HR here. When I went into HR, I didn't go and study what HR do. I study what HR should not do. Because I am not professional, I'm not trained by HR, so I can look at, why are you doing this? So finally I say something which shocked all the HR people. I said that, hey, actually we need a HR function, we don't need HR department, Wow. Then you know what's the outcome now, I get myself also retrenched. Because we don't need HR department. So, but I told them already, it is a fact that in future, there may not be employee this kind of thing. And that was said in about 20 years ago, in the National Library, when I said that. So I said there may not be an employee anymore. Everybody should be self-employed. Self-employed is a contract base, because there are three things that is very severe happening in the employment. So if you are still employment, you may want to take note of this. Number one, there is a very negative energy building up in a corporation. Like, you realize in any corporation, not all, but most of it, the expectation of the employer and employee are different. Employer want the employee to work harder, work more, but get less. And employee exactly opposite, they want to get more but work less. How can these two meet? Can never meet. Therefore, a stressful management, a stressful employer and a very unsatisfied employee. How can this be healthy? The environment always, in the canteen you hear them talking about each other. This is one thing. The second thing is, it's about leadership. Now, in any corporate, right, there's only one MD, there's only one head of department. If you want to ask for 2-3 head of department, it's daydreaming. But if there's only one, that means they have to fight damn hard to get there, If not, you have to quit, right? So, I think, in the corporate world, this cannot be resolved, because you cannot promote too many people, right? Whereas when I realized the Nuskin, if you want to be a top leader, all you need to do is just say, I want to be a top leader. Nobody will stop you. You can have all the 10 or 100 of you and want to be, okay, all can be the one. So that is so much different, because the human potential is being lit up to the maximum, right? And of course, the last point is more scary, lah. In workplace, so you want to use your initiative because you think that you are better, but sometimes it's not that because you say the wrong thing. It's because you haven't seen the whole picture, and then you try to do something very smart, and then they say 工字不出头，出头变阿土的, no? Yeah, it's like, sorry, maybe I can explain to you in Malay later. If you try to be smart, you are in trouble, I tell you, because you sometimes mess up the whole place, and people cannot accept it, right? And therefore, everybody becomes so obedient. You have to be obedient. The more obedient you are, the more promotion you're likely to get. Oh, if I write a book, I will write 19 tips on how to promote better, faster than your peers. I can write that because you know all the tricks on how to get promoted faster. You know? So, but the key point I want to say is, in that kind of environment, at the end of the day, people are very unhappy. So, you end up one phenomenon that the good people, in Chinese we say, 好的留不住，坏的赶不走. It means the good people cannot stay. But the mediocre one, you cannot get rid of them. And the whole environment become going down and down and down and down. Eventually it's a miracle company. This is a serious thing. Whereas in Nuskin, I realized that actually our success is built upon other people's success. Means the operation is based on, the concept is based on lifting people up, not suppressing people down. So you are supposed to find good people, lift them up. That's a different. So if from human resource point of view, I think Nuskin business model make full sense. It's about leadership, it's about making other people more successful, it is about living yourself to the fullest potential. That's what I want to say.
You know, so many years, never heard HR speak like that before. Never. Now, I got last few questions to ask, but I'm going to throw it out to the panel. You guys got to fight for the money. Okay. First, this is called answering objections, the typical objections people have in their head. Now, it is said that MLM business at Nuskin is slow, okay, and not worth the while. Your opinions, please.
All right. Well, Nuskin is slow, right? Not worth your while.
It's MLM, Nuskin.
Well, I think the question I want to ask back is that, from my perspective, is what sort of risk to put in? Because I'm from a very conservative kind of a background. My father was a USM lecturer, and I was never involved in business, so I'm not that risky. I don't know about you guys. So maybe not like 22, address 22, but so I'm kind of like so it's risk. So if you're willing to risk more, then you probably would do things that would create faster results, isn't it? But then again, you know, they say that you can win many times, but one downfall can wipe you all out. So the question is, I'm not willing to take that kind of risk. I like to meet people halfway. So in the sense that instead of like putting lots of money in a company, or waiting for the mutual fund to ever increase, which basically just is inflation, then the middle ground is something that is based on my own effort. And I can trust my own effort, right? I can't trust a company or what stock that is. People are fickle-minded, but I can trust myself. So whether slow or fast is a function of how much risk you're willing to take. If you can take more risk, then hey, you know, make bigger decisions. But Nuskin is a business that doesn't do that. Doesn't require us to make that kind of big risks. In fact, it's not a risk. It's more of an intelligent decision, and one which is, as what Dr. James was talking about, it's multiplication, and that's the beauty about this business. Because it is multiplication, it doesn't have to be fast. Because it is multiplication, you just have to be consistent, and the key is being consistent. if you know the natural law of exponential growth or geometric growth will help you already. So you don't really need a big capital to earn big money. You just have to do consistent work to eventually accumulate amazing wealth. The key thing, that's the thing. So it's not so fast, it's how much risk you're willing to take and how much consistency are you going to put into this business. Ultimately, you will have a life that you would, Casey and I, we wake up together. We wake up. And then we still have to pinch ourselves to say, well, is this real? Because working for, as Motorola or working as an employee for 10 odd years, we never seen income that ever grows like this before. And it's just amazing how this platform, although slow, most importantly, even though it's slow, I can leave it to the next generation. And that's worth all your while, isn't it? If you can leave something that you built for the next generation, it definitely is worth your while. No matter how hard I work in Motorola, my title, I could never pass it on to my next generation. But in Nuskin you can, and that's the beauty of this business.
Right. Next question, how many of you are married? Alright, next question, how many of you are technically married? She's trying to say that they are married. You know what's technical marriage, You don't even have time for dinner or breakfast with your spouse. You come home, the only thing you see somebody sleeping. That's called a technically married. But are you really married? Important message. Okay, as we don't have time to go on to the next question, Also, we're going to find one this one, I'm a professional, Nuskin is skincare product sales business. Not classy enough. Your comments, please.
I like to go back to Yakun, but if I may just go back to a far bigger example, if 30 years ago someone invited you to open up a coffee shop, coffee shops are not bad, but then if you think of a coffee shop in some of the hawker centers, it's no big deal. It's all the uncle, auntie who will do it. But what if I told you it was Starbucks? Howard Schultz is a multi-billionaire selling coffee, but until he showed you the way, you never imagined possible. Coming back to Yakun, Yakun has 100 shops today, Amazing, Kaya. I look at the business, every time I'm there having a cup of coffee, I said, this is the kind of business. If my grandfather was Akun, I would like to run this business, but he's not, okay? So I think a lot of professionals, at the end of the day, hide behind titles, hide behind the tie. You go to the private bank, would you rather be the one wearing the jacket and tie, or you want to be the uncle coming in his shorts, but he's worth hundreds of millions, right? So most of us, I think, have been educated to think professional, okay? When people ask me, oh, but as a professional, no face, I said, I'd rather do this now. It's an honest living. It's a very noble thing because I'm helping people, rather than have no face when I have to borrow money from my friends and family. I'm very proud to do this. And perhaps people don't see this as professional because of some of the nonsense that's been going around. In fact, this question was asked to my wife very early on in our Nuskin journey. Two of you are professionals. Why are you all doing this kind of thing? That they give us that kind of look, So my wife said, because we can make a difference. We are professionals. We have certain skill set. We have certain discipline. We are going to professionalize this industry. We're going to make a difference. And true enough, Nuskin today attract a lot of people from across the spectrum. But when the professionals come in and they look at how this is conducted, it's professional. And I like the Nuskin motto, unlike the other MLM. We always under-promise, but we always over-deliver. So later on, your friends will tell you why spend. So what does why spend say? Oh, improve the immune system, Then you go to another company, wow, you take this, you can play soccer immediately. My grandmother can get out and play soccer. We are the opposite. People take this, then they say, hey, how come 1 week later I can feel this? So Nuskin, we always under-promise, we always over-deliver. This is professional. And we don't tell you is get rich. We tell you work hard. but the money will be passive. This is professional. We're not bluffing you. Okay, so I'm very proud, and I would welcome all of you who are professionals or non-professionals, come and help us make this industry a lot more professional.
Maybe some of you came here to see a magical plan that could make you rich very fast, and then the fellow say you got to work hard. There's a reason why these people are successful, because you tell people straight in the face, you got to work hard. This is not a fly-by-night business or get-rich-quick scheme, right? Okay, last question. Don't fight for the fight. Don't push around. Why are people now more open to network marketing, especially the younger ones? Why is this so?
Who's the oldest?
I know some of you got young people in your organization. Something you must know something.
The HR director.
But now you want the mic.
I think the older generation was misled by their parents, about having a steady job, the security of having a job. The young ones don't have that illusion anymore, because there is no security. They can see that. I think the whole climate is now. I mean, you see the number of people willing to try Grab and all that. They're just more open to part-time work. They're more entrepreneurial than ever. But I think this is not an opportunity that the old ones are at disadvantage. In traditional work, the old people will be at a disadvantage. Here, we welcome the young people because they've got less opportunity cost, they got more stamina, they can work. But certainly the older person, it's a people business, and the older people would not be at a disadvantage at all.
I think one of the distinct difference now is the speed. In this business we have this saying, 以人为本，速度为王. It's meaning this business is all about people, but the success of this is based on speed. Now, if you look at the current situation, the speed of the people accepting changes is faster. Last time it take a while for people to accept change. But now the change is like, if you don't change, you're not in, the kind of thing. The secondly is, the technology also help a lot. I mean, you look at Nuskin, I still have, for museum purpose, the old shampoo, and then now you look at the thing, wow, so much different. And then the Lumi Spa and all this kind of thing. So the technology is here, in part of our life already. So to me, it's not about young or new or old. It is about your mindset. People who have a younger mindset, definitely advantage now than before. So don't use the age to judge your mindset, young mindset. Thank you.
If I can say one more thing before you do. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, many years ago, we did not have books by Robert Kiyosaki. We did not have books written by Dr. James Chia, right? So now we have, and we are getting more educated and open-minded to MLM, right? But when it comes to, I can see that in my team, the team is progressively getting younger and younger. It's very basic of human nature for the young people, because they love to have freedom, right? They don't like to be tied to a 9-to-5 job. They want to be entrepreneurs. Even when they are being interviewed, they will tell the interviewer that they just come to this job to learn, to get experience, and one day they are going to build some similar business. So young people like to be entrepreneurs, like to be adventurous, and that's why they are open-minded to multi-level marketing. And now technology is so open that you are able to check what's the background of the company and all that, and you are very smart, right? So they will be attracted to good company like a Nuskin. And in a business like a Nuskin, we are not just talking about earning money. Of course, we don't waste time. Earning money is very important. But it is so fun to build this business. I mean, I wish I'm in my 30s or in my 20s and build this business. It will be so fun to do it all over again. We have celebration, we have recognition event, and then we go shopping for nightgowns, evening gowns, and then show it on the Facebook, and then got so many likes. And then we go on the stage, and so many friends cheer for us. And if you don't make it, there's no failure. Right? Nobody, no boss or no upline say that, oh, you're so bad and all that. Everybody encourage each other. It is such a loving and building community. The culture is so good. So it is very attractive to the young people. It's just that they may not know that such thing, like what Hossein said, too good to be true, right? And they may not know because they probably thought that MLM is the way that it used to be. Or maybe they have been exposed to a certain different culture before. So all we need to do is to show up and share with these young people who we really are, what we really do, and be ourselves. And it will be such an attractive force to bring in a lot of young people.
Right.
So since you guys have been a great audience, I want to give you guys a gift on behalf of all of us, okay? Yes. Everyone get a free book? He's getting worried! No.
This is how you
No, it's much better than that. Buy the book, much better than that. That's a big gift, This is the gifting season, yes?
Yes.
So everyone loves gifts, right?
Yes.
Warren Buffett said, honesty is the most expensive and valuable gift that anyone can give you. Don't expect it from cheap people. We are not cheap people. So hopefully we just give you some very honest advice. For 98% of the people, no matter how hard you work, no matter how much you save, you cannot make ends meet. Second thing, people do not understand what longevity means. Living until 80, 90, 100 years. So whenever I tell people that I do not wish to live so long, so you mean to tell me at 85 you're just going to jump off a block of flats? You're not going to do that, right? A lot of people don't understand what 10 years of bad health means, and the average Singaporean is going to have 10 years of bad health. And again, I said earlier, you go to the other MLMs, they say quick money. There is quick money here too, provided you work very hard, but the money lasts and grows and grows and grows. So ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the most valuable gift. Look within yourselves and ask yourself, are you happy with what you have? Do the numbers really add up? I will tell you that what I observe amongst the successful Nuskin people, they have this very straightforward relationship with money. Two things. One, they are damn scared of running out of money. Two, they want a lot more of it so they can give their families the best life possible. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Now we give these 5 leaders a big round of applause. Later we take picture later. Don't go yet. Okay. You sit down first. I'll sit down.